Hello and welcome to the Morning Outlook. I'm James Preston reporting to you live from Kalkine Studios in Sydney. Australian shares are set to open higher today with strong commodity prices likely boosting mining and energy firms and a positive overnight session on Wall Street likely cheering local tech stocks. The local share price index futures YAP CM1 rose 0.5%, a 4.3 point premium to the underlying S&P ASX 200 index at the AXJO close. The benchmark closed 0.7% higher at 7,256.7 on Thursday. The Australian shares are expected to end the week on a positive note, buoyed by a strong overnight trade on Wall Street. The strong closing of US shares is likely to boost domestic tech shares and robust commodity prices expected to lift mining and energy firms. The ASX 200 is expected to open the day 44 points or 0.6% higher than in the previous session. The major companies that will pay their latest dividends to their shareholders on Friday include Helios, Reliance Worldwide Corporation, WiseTech Global and the Woolworths Group. The Australian share market snapped a two-day losing streak yesterday, with the ASX 200 lifting 0.7%. This keeps the local market on track for its first weekly advance in 5 weeks. This was bolstered by a solid lead from Wall Street the previous night, as well as hopes of a short temporary solution to the debt ceiling saga and one of the strongest gains in over a month in Asian markets. Dow futures are also suggesting a slightly better start in the United States. That could be possible for this evening. In US economic data, initial jobless claims fell by 38,000 to 326,000 last week. Challenger job cuts rose by 14% in September, and consumer credit lifted by $14.4 billion in August. European share markets rose on Thursday. The Pan-European Stoxx 600 index closed up by 1.6%, with auto and parts stocks 3.2% higher. The automaker's heavy German DAX index posted its best session since May, up 1.9%, shrugging off data that showed a 4% decline in industrial production in August. And the UK FTSE index added 1.2%. London-listed shares in Rio Tinto jumped by 3.5%, and BHP shares were up by 3.6%. US share markets advanced on Thursday, bolstered by progress on US debt ceiling talks. US Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said lawmakers reached a deal on a short-term debt ceiling increase, avoiding a US government default. The deal will extend the debt ceiling through to early December. Shares of tech heavyweights Twitter, Apple and Amazon all lifted. Costco shares added 0.8% after reporting better than expected September sales. Levi Strauss shares soared by 8.5% after the jeans maker beat third quarter profit estimates. And shares of copper producer Freeport-McMoRan surged by 8.2%. The Dow Jones index rose by 1% after earlier lifting by 558 points. The S&P 500 index gained 0.8% and the Nasdaq index added 1.1%. US Treasury yields lifted on Thursday as traders reacted to a possible truce in the debt ceiling standoff in US Congress and better than expected initial jobless claims data ahead of the release of the September US jobs report. US 10-year yields rose by 5 points to near 1.57%, and US 2-year yields were up by 0.31%. Time now for a very quick break on the Morning Outlook. We'll be back in just a moment with the top news of the morning, a look at the performance of major currencies and more in just a moment. Hi there, James Preston for Kalkine TV. Are you into gaming and virtual reality? Does AI and the endless possibilities it entails capture your interest? Or are you constantly trawling through the web to try and discover the latest updates and innovations in the tech space? Well, let us do the work for you. From the latest product launches to shocking affairs on the World Wide Web, exclusive interviews and information about the top companies like Apple and Google to brand new tech startups vying for your attention. Kalkine's Tech Beat has the latest in what matters in the world of technology. Join me every single Thursday on The Tech Beat, exclusive to Kalkine TV. Has your week hit you for six? Barely had time to breathe, let alone throw a flick pass? Well, don't worry, Kalkine has all your sporting action covered. Each episode, I'll bring you the biggest sports news of the week. Exclusive interviews with athletes, sports commentators and journalists. Plus, we'll also look at the finances off the field from new broadcast deals, sports commercial partnerships and more with sports business. So for a sports show that tackles all the big issues, ball and all, join me, James Preston, for Game On every Friday, exclusive to Kalkine TV. Welcome back to the Morning Outlook, exclusive to Kalkine TV. Let's now take a look at today's top stories with the ability to impact markets. France's ambassador to Australia, Jean-Pierre Thibault, has warned that it remains to be seen whether the two governments are actually friends and has accused the Australian federal government of being childish. The comments come after Australia cancelled a $90 billion deal to build a fleet of submarines and instead opted for a surprise agreement with the UK and the US. The French ambassador has maintained that France's relationship with Australia should have provided for a proper consultation period for the decision as opposed to a shock announcement. He argued France was regularly treated as a partner to the Five Eyes intelligence grouping of Australia, the US, UK, Canada and New Zealand. Mr. Thibault believed the concerns about trust between the two nations went beyond ripping up the submarine contract, and Australia needed to prove it would not act in such a manner in the future. And there is further confusion surrounding New South Wales' vaccine passports debacle. With the state set to reopen businesses such as pubs, retail stores and gyms this coming Monday, the 11th of October, the Service New South Wales Digital Integrated Vaccine Passport is not yet ready. The vaccine passport began trials on October 6 for 500 people in regional New South Wales, but the trial period is set to be conducted over 2 weeks, meaning the results will be unknown for more than a week after the state opens. It's led many business owners to question exactly how they are supposed to police who can and cannot enter a premise, and heaps further pressure on the man who is the brainchild of the passport, New South Wales Customer Service Minister Victor Dominello, and new Premier Dominic Perrottet, who has previously stated he does not want to see a two-tiered society. Let's move on now to the latest from the currency space. Major currencies were mixed against the US dollar in European and US trade. The euro was near US $1.15.5 at the US close, but the Aussie dollar was near 73.1 cents at the US close. The Australian dollar was holding its own on Thursday as surging energy prices gave it a lift on the euro and yen, while its New Zealand neighbour lagged as the market pondered the likely pace of rate increases there. The Aussie dollar firmed up to 72.88 US cents and away from Wednesday's trough of 72.26 cents. Global oil prices rebounded on Thursday after the US Department of Energy said it has no plans at this time to tap into the nation's oil reserves to help quell rising gasoline prices. The Brent crude price rose by 1.1% to $81.95 a barrel, and the US NYMEX crude price also added 1.1% to $78.30 a barrel. Base metal prices were mostly higher on Thursday. Copper led the gains as investors weighed global growth prospects before key US jobs data and the return of Chinese traders after a holiday. Aluminium lifted by 1.6%, with lead also up by 1.5%, however tin fell by 0.2%. The gold futures price fell by 0.1%, while spot gold was trading near $1,755 an ounce at the US close. Iron ore was unchanged at $117.80 a tonne from China, with their holidays occurring between October 1 and October 7. Well, that's all for our morning Outlook report here on Kalkine TV. Have a fantastic day trading and stay tuned for more market updates and economic news live throughout the day. This is James Preston signing off for now.